Good morning all from quite a rainy France. So this is not the morning scene I was hoping to get for you, but it's still rather pretty. So we've woken up here next to this lovely, very wide, is it a canal? I think it is a canal, but it's very big and it's got these beautiful lived on barges, which is absolutely fantastic. But it's a really nice little spot. It was quite quiet in the night. There was just a couple of vans. We had no one parked near us. We're just waiting here. We've just offloaded our waste because, as you can see, you're able to dump your waste, fill up with water. We're waiting here. Ella is over in the shower block getting herself freshened up. Now, I don't know how much there will be today because we've got a busy driving day. I might have a little chat to you on the road, possibly about home education. We've had someone asking in the comments about home education and how we do it in a van, how it works. And I thought I'd just give you my opinions of and how we do home education and what we're doing right now while we're on the road. As it happens, we're not doing any right now. We're on holiday, but we'll see how we get on. But now I've said it, I'll have to do it, won't I? We're going to be driving. We're driving down to the outskirts of Paris where we're going to meet Regis, who is a family member. He is the kids' mum's cousin, and he's a very dear friend of mine now after all these years. He speaks fluent English, and he's going to treat us to a nice meal out this afternoon, and then we're going to hit the road again and try and get to a sleeping place. So by the time we find somewhere to camp, it's probably going to be late. I might not have time to get this edited and up on time, so we will see. I will let you know, of course. You'll know by now because you're watching it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get Ella out of the shower, into the van, nice and cozy and warm, and we're going to head down the road, and I will pick up with you somewhere on the drive. All right? Hello folks, I'm back. Yep, we are cruising down a toll road. Actually, I've decided to pay for a toll road so we can get to Paris a bit earlier to meet the kid's mum's cousin is who it is. I'm not sure if I pointed that out earlier. Like I say, he's a very dear friend of mine these days. So yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about home education, wasn't I? Now, there's been a couple of people in the comments asking, what do we do? Home ed. Now, first of all, in England, we call it home education. I know in the States and other countries it's known as homeschooling. So we're going to nip that in the bud right now. In England, homeschooling is considered essentially doing school at home. So yeah, you take the kids away from the school, but you have like a school environment at home. They get set up with desks, tables, books, and they follow the curriculum and do exactly the same stuff that the kids are doing at school. That is not what I do, what we do. It's not what anyone I know does. We do home education, which essentially can be anything you want it to be. I've got friends in the home education circuit who do a lot of bookwork at home, sometimes an hour a day, maybe 2 hours a day, and then kids are free for all, do what they want. I've also got friends who do nothing academic whatsoever. They just live their lives with their kids. The kids go everywhere with them, depending on their age, of course, hang out with them and learn from just human experience, just living life. And I guarantee you, those kids are going to do far better than the ones who sit and stare at a classroom and listening to a teacher day in, day out. I promise you, they are. You show me one billionaire, millionaire who did well at school and got all his A's and passed all the exams the way they want you to do. Now, I'm sure most of you out there watching my channel know how I think and how I feel, but there's a lot of new people joined us recently, and quite honestly, you know, the school system was set up and developed to create workers. It was set up by the Rothschilds many years ago, about 200 years ago I believe, and they even said back then, sorry, was it the Rothschild? It might have been the Rockefellers. Don't quote me on this. I haven't done any research for this. This is just what I remember from stuff I've learnt in the past. So I might get a few things wrong. Bear with me. Anyway, from what I understand, it was about 200 years ago. And they're quoted as saying they want the people trained up. They want them smart enough to run the machines, but not smart enough to ask why they're running the machines. My kids will be that kind of smart, okay? And we're not going to be chasing exams. We're not going to be chasing getting qualifications because they don't matter. That only matters if you want to go and work for somebody else doing a 9-to-5 job that you end up hating in 20 years and resenting everything about it. That's not what we do. I didn't do well at school at all. In fact, I failed miserably because I just didn't care. It wasn't from lack of ability, it was lack of interest in what was going on. I had lots going on outside of school, in my own personal life. And that's something I could talk about another time. And I was excelling in all those areas, but school didn't cater for that. School wanted me to sit and do exams and pass maths and English exams, which was just not interesting to me. And I therefore didn't do well, didn't get any good results. And I've made it to the age of nearly 50, and I'm succeeding quite well, I think, at life. Quite happy, kids are happy, we're doing well, we're now traveling all over. I had a successful business back there in the UK. I had a successful business in Thailand. A couple of successful business in Thailand over the years, and no one taught me how to do that. That was just me winging it, and I'm just learning from the internet, watching other people, and growing from experience, building up to a certain point, at which point I get particularly bored and I look for the next interesting thing in my life that I want to do, and I start learning again from the bottom, which I'm about to be doing now with the traveling and learning how I'm going to make money this way. YouTube is one of those things. Anyway, they didn't teach me how to do that at school. I'm going to learn it. I'm going to make it happen. This is what I am teaching the kids how to do. So the questions were in the comments was, what are we doing now specifically for home education? Nothing. We're on a holiday. The last years where we've been home editing at home, the kids have had different projects, things they're working on, and we don't take breaks when the schools take a break. When the school system decides it's holiday time, we don't take a holiday, because then everywhere's busy, everywhere's full of people. So we usually work through those holidays, and we take a break when we want to take a break, and we can go on holidays when things are cheaper. Excuse me. So with that said, we're taking a break right now. I'm putting no pressure on the kids to do anything for weeks, possibly even a month or two. Who cares? We deserve it after all we've been through back in the UK, and we're just going to enjoy life for a while. And then we'll slowly bring things in as we see fit. But the format for our kind of home education is child-led home education, whereby whatever the child is interested in and wants to learn more about, we facilitate, educate ourselves to it, and help them as best we can, and then they go 100% down that road. And if they deviate and want to go somewhere else, then they can do that. Ella is an artist. Ella has always been an artist. Ella always will be an artist. It's all she cares about, it's all she knows about, it's all she does, day in, day out. If she's got a phone in front of her, she's doing art. It might look like she's scrolling, but she's not. She's drawing with her finger, she's doing animations and all sorts. If she's got a laptop in front of her, she's doing art. If she's got a book in front of her, she's sketching and doing art. School made Ella miserable because they were forcing her to do maths and English and things that her brain just wants to explode, and I understand that because I have the same issue. You sit me down in front of paperwork and try and get me to do that sort of academic stuff, my brain wants to scream. It just can't do it. But give me tools, give me things to do with my hands, something creative like making videos, I'm all over it. I love it. They don't teach you that at school though, do they? So that was one of the first reasons for pulling them out of school, was Ella struggling so much. She was miserable. She was almost depressed. She was crying on a morning, not wanting to go. It was an awful place for her. Now, years into home education, she has now, literally, just as of a week ago, finished a commission for doing 72 illustrations for a kid's book, which is going to be published. So she'll be published at the age of 14. How about that? And then she now wants to move on and do her own books where she writes the stories and illustrates them herself. This is something she's going to work on over time. I will help facilitate. I will give her all the equipment she needs, all the guidance she needs, and I can help her with the publishing side and making it like a business. Learning that she has to run it like a business in order to keep doing this, and not having to go and do a job stacking shelves in a supermarket or something like that in order to facilitate this hobby, this business. She'll be able to do this for the rest of her life. John, on the other hand, is a lot more like me. He doesn't really know what he's doing, but he's learning so many different skills along the way. As I always say to him, don't worry, dude, it's not like at school where they want you to get on this career path and you've got to stick to that from the age of whatever it is, 16, telling you you've got to decide what you're going to be for the rest of your life. That's ridiculous. I am 49 and I still don't know what I want to be, okay? I've been a gardener, a builder, I've been a scuba diving instructor, I've been an underwater cameraman, I've opened up offices and trained people how to be underwater cameraman. I wrote a course on underwater photography with my old business partner. I've set up another business in Malta, a fresh underwater camera business. I've come back to the UK, started a handyman business, which developed into a property development business. I've bought property of my own with a business partner, developed that now rents out, and we'll hopefully sell that this next year, make a bit of money. And now I'm a YouTuber. Go figure. And I still don't know if this will be what I do forever. Right now we're travelling in a van. I really want to buy a boat and go travelling in a sailboat. I don't know what I want to be or what I want to do. I just make it up as I go along. I learn as I go, and I'm surviving. And John is kind of at that vein, and he has been learning. He's learned French. He's got incredibly good at French. He was studying that at home. He's incredibly good at running a house. Okay, now I couldn't do that until my 30s. He's 14 years old. He knows everything about taking care of a property, and just simple tasks like just doing the laundry and filling dishwashers and taking the rubbish out, and how this is a constant and it needs to be taken care of. That is education as well. He also helped me build the van. Excuse me. He also helped me build the van, as you've noticed if you watch that. How many skills did he learn there? Plumbing, electrics, joinery, and the rust prevention on the van, and somewhere down this road mechanics is going to come into it as well. He's also my navigator here, sat next to me. He runs Google Maps and Park for Night, which is the app to find the places where we're going to camp for the night, and he can navigate us. He knows the maps, he knows where we are. All of this stuff is education, okay? So even though we're not officially doing anything at the moment education based, then they're still getting educated all the time, to a new country, to new ways of doing things. We've just educated ourselves in the supermarket and learned a few things we didn't know before, John and I, as we went in there. So yeah, I don't know if that's really what you were after. At some point I will take the time out when things are a bit quieter, and we'll look at things where I feel the kids could learn a little bit more. Ella struggles with money. She doesn't understand currency very well, so I want to dedicate some time to her and taking time for her to understand the money. We used to play Monopoly a lot, which was helping her with that, so we'll probably take up that again. That was very helpful. Whereas John is sharp as a tack. He understands all that stuff very, very easily. So that is basically what we do for home education, and it will develop and it will change over time. When we first started it, we did used to have a rota on the wall at home saying 1 hour of maths, 1 hour of English, 1 hour of science every week or whatever, and they could structure it how they wanted. And eventually that just fizzled out, and I think you'll find people who do home education for any number of years, it tends to go that way. My brother does home education with his 2 oldest boys, and I know that he does sit them down at the kitchen table a handful of times a week, and they do maths problems and things like that. Fair enough, that's the way he's doing it. The boys are enjoying it. I think if any of them rebelled against it and really hated it, he would change the way he does things, but they enjoy that aspect of it. So there you go. I hope that's been of some insight really to you, and I do get a lot of questions about it all the time from friends. In fact, there's been friends just contacting me recently who are interested at looking at doing it themselves and how you go about it. And I hope I can answer some questions. That is a really long speech I've just given you there. I hope it's of some interest to you. There's not much else happening in this video. We're going to be arriving in Paris in about an hour and a half. Then we're going to eat with Regis, and then we're just going to go and find a place to camp for the night. I don't know when I'll get this video up, but by now you'll have known because you're watching it. So yeah, I'll leave you at that. If you have any more questions, drop them in the comments below and I'll try and answer them. Yeah, so as you can see, it's a bit grey here on the roads in France as well. but the roads are lovely. We're on a toll road, like I said. These toll roads, sometimes it's worth spending a little bit of money because you can cut a day's journey down to half a day's journey, and it's just smooth. No road works hardly ever, and even if there is, it doesn't slow the traffic down, and it's quiet. It's just such a nice way to travel, so it's worth spending a little bit of money sometimes to take a toll. And as it is, we just want to get somewhere today. Anyway, I was just going to also add something to what I was saying before about the home ed. When I've got people who talk, I've never had one person question it, to be honest. Anyone who I tell that we home educate the kids, that I home educate the kids, they all say, oh, you do right. Because one of the most common complaints is they say it's broken, the education system is broken. And that is not true. That is a misconception. The education system is doing exactly what those in power want it to do. Creating good little drones. And if you believe that that's correct and we should be creating good little drones, well, that's probably because you're a good little brainwashed drone too. Now I am going to get some flack on YouTube for that. As it is, because I don't have time to make any more video today, I'm going to leave it there. So I hope that little home education rant was good for you. We're having a few ranty videos at the moment, but it does seem to pull a few people out of the woodwork and get a few different comments down there. I promise it'll become a travel channel again soon. I promise it'll become a travel channel again soon. I do. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Tomorrow we head to Grandma's house, so I'll no doubt get a video put up then. Hopefully get this one up tonight, and speak to you later. Take it easy. Bye bye.